Hello and welcome to Odoo Essentials. In this lesson, we're going to go over the project application. Project is a collaboration tool that gives you a visual overview of what is being worked on, who is working on it, and how far they've gotten. Whether you know it or not, every day we walk around with these to-do lists in our mind. Project allows you to organize and prioritize these projects and tasks in a fun, infinitely flexible, and rewarding way while being very easy to use. Project also uses a Kanban view, and to give you an idea of what this looks like, imagine a whiteboard with rows of sticky notes with all of your projects and to-dos on it. Now, let's see how this looks in Odoo. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into our project application here. And we'll create our first one by clicking on the Create button. And now we need to add a project name. I'm going to call mine Consulting Services. You can also choose a project email. I'm going to skip this step, but don't worry, I'll come back to it later. I'll click Create. This will redirect me into the new project page. And the first thing it will suggest is to add some columns. Now, columns are really great to organize your tasks, and they can also act as different stages for your tasks as well. Now, if you don't have any ideas yet of what to name your columns, we do have some suggestions for you if you click on this Examples button. Now, this provides some suggestions based on different project types. So, for example, here I'm on software development, and that suggests backlogs, specifications, development, and more. You can also choose, perhaps you have a project about consulting. So you can click on this and you will see other suggestions that are more related to that. So this is really neat. When you're done, you can simply click on Got It and it will close the window. So let's go ahead and add our own columns. The first one will be specifications. Then I will have development, tests, and verification. Okay. Now I would like to create my first task. To do this, I simply need to click on the Create button. And here, if I click on the Create button, it will make the task automatically go into your first column. However, I can also create a task initially in another column as well by simply clicking on this little plus icon. So I'll do that. I will say that this task needs to be in testing first. And I'm going to call it Business Needs Analysis. I'll create a new one as well that will go into my first column, and I'm going to call that Specifications for User. Okay. All right, so now I have my first two tasks, and let's enter one to see what it looks like and all of the options we have here. So when I click Edit, I can add the description of the task, and I can also add some extra info, such as customer and email. I also can change the project that it's assigned to. So maybe the project isn't consulting services, but rather another. So I can simply change that information right here on the task. I can also assign it to someone. I can add a deadline, and I can also add some tags. So tags are really cool because you can also customize them. And to do that, you simply go to Configuration, Tags, and you can also customize them on the fly. So let's say I have a customer who I speak with mostly on the phone. I have one already created, so I'll click Phone. But this customer also only speaks Chinese. So I want to create a new tag that's Chinese. I can create that right here easily on the fly. And that way I know that I need to speak to this customer in particular in Chinese. So I'll save that information. Some other things we can do here is we can prioritize this ticket or favorite it by clicking on this yellow star. So once this is active, we see that this is a priority. And when you have your list of tasks, it will go to the top. We can also schedule an activity from the chatter. And if you look at the right, we have this little gray bullet. Now this means that your task is in progress, but when you click on it, you can also change the stage. So you can say that it's ready for the next column, it's ready for the next stage, or that it's blocked. So in this case, we'll say it's ready for the next stage. And I'm going to go back to our task overview and see what that looks like. So I'm back here on my task, see specifications for users, and I can see that it is indeed starred, so it will be prioritized. We have no activities scheduled, and it's green, meaning it's ready to go on. So to do that, I can simply click, drag it, drop it in the next stage. Now we see here that the green bullet goes away, that it goes back to gray, which means in progress. That's because even though it was ready to move on when it was in specifications, perhaps it needs some development before it will then be ready to move on to testing. So you can change that within the task, as we just saw, or you can change it right here on the outside as well. So that's really convenient. Another thing I want to point out from inside the task is you can also change the stage right here in the top right corner. So I moved it to development, but maybe the specification didn't give me enough information for the development. So I can move it back into that stage simply by clicking on specifications there. So it gives you a lot of possibilities and a lot of ways to modify the information on different pages. So let's go back to tasks. From here, we're going to edit our columns. So I can do that by clicking on this little settings icon right here. And I have some different options. So I can fold the stage, and I'll do that here as well. And that kind of saves you some space. It organizes the information differently. And when you click on it, it opens right back up. I can edit the stage. I can delete, archive, or unarchive. But now we're going to edit this. So I can change the name if I would like to. I can add an email template. I can say that it should always be folded in the Kanban like we just saw. And something else we can do is we can change the names of the bullets that I also showed you. So perhaps the green bullet, instead of saying that it's ready for the next stage, maybe we would like to say move on instead. And we'll save. When I click this bullet now, I will see this title change instantly. So that's something that's really cool. So we've seen already that we can change and edit the tasks as well as the columns. More than that, we can also change the settings of the project itself. So let's go back to our main project page, and we'll click on these three little dots and edit. Now here I can do several things. I can change the project manager, the privacy of the project. I can add a customer should the project be specific to one person or one company. I can also add an email alias. Now this is something else that's really cool because if you're communicating with your customers and every time you have an email from them, it's something that you create into a task, you can make this automatic by creating an email alias. So instead of doing this manually, you can ask your customer to send their email directly to this address and it will automatically create the task within your project. So that's something that's super cool. And if we come up here to name of the tasks, we can also change this information as well. So maybe instead of tasks, I would like to say tickets. I just changed that and I'll click save. I'm gonna go back to my project. And again, instantly you see the change. It's no longer called tasks, it's called tickets instead. So that's all for this video. Thank you for watching.